Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos.
This is going to be funny. This is the clip for this show. When did the second quarter start, like date-wise? What month was that?
July.
Okay.
Oh, no, because we're in the third. We just finished the third quarter.
Right.
So the
So,
third quarter started in July, August, September.
I almost made my goal.
Ooh.
And literally would have had it except by 3 days. So I would have had one extra, except it would have been on October 3rd. So,
I mean, you have to
yeah,
give grace for that, like a couple
right.
days. It's hard.
Exactly. I'm cool with that. Now, I will say I have not written down my fourth quarter goals yet. Um,
Okay.
so I need to do that. That'll be on my list of things to do today, and I will. I don't know how we'll add it to an episode. Maybe we'll put it in the notes instead. Okay. So third
That's okay.
quarter.
This will just be our little, because
Right.
this is basically accountability and like things that did work, things that didn't work, that kind of thing.
Right. So, guys, if you're listening, we are going over the 12-week year because we try and let you guys know where we are with things and the structure we use. And I'll be honest, this year I keep saying I'm doing it and I'm not doing it. And I really need to just buckle down and do it. But getting busy makes it hard to buckle down. And so, but I know that if I do, that it's the circle. So my goal this year this quarter was 5 closings. I had 4. I had 2 closings scheduled. Actually, I would have been over by 2. One terminated last minute. So I'm fine with that. I had 4 technically. The other 3 were going to be October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and one terminated and one got pushed. So I'm not worried about that. I did not pursue FISBOs like I said I was going to. I did start putting strong referrals out there in Facebook groups and stuff. Where I talked about hey, I'll give you 40% on the first deal, things like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. How did that, if you had conversations around that, how did that go?
So I'm going to put it in our workplace. I have exited all of the realtor Facebook groups
Gosh, they're
because,
annoying, honestly.
well, that's not even that. All of the legal advice I've been given after the NAR settlement was get the hell out of them, because if there's even one post about commissions in there, you are especially if it's a private Facebook group, you are creating a private MLS, and that is a violation. And so the chances of that happening are probably higher than people think. And someone said, "What do they have, a paralegal sitting there scrubbing Facebook groups?" And it was at a CE
Maybe.
class. Well, I raised my hand. I said, "Yeah, they do." And I said, "I know this because my first job out of college was exactly that. It was for an attorney for lawsuits, and my job was to find people on social media and get the dirt that they didn't realize they were posting." I said, "So yeah, absolutely." And it's even easier now. You can search Facebook pages. So even if you didn't write the post, you didn't comment on the post, you didn't like the post, being in that group makes you
Guilty by
accountable.
association.
Yes. And so I've
Yep.
exited all of them. So that made that kind of hard. But I do need to get back into it, putting it in workplace. Hey, your first referral with me, 40%.
Yep.
I'd love to be your Charlotte agent. I plan on I need to make something for Rise. A little card to hand out when I meet people in a couple weeks to say,
I
"Hey."
love that you just stopped and wrote that note to yourself while you're
Yes.
like, I need to do this for Rise, and you're like, wait, let me
Note.
write this down because I will forget it.
Yes,
And
I will
that is
forget.
exactly me.
Yes. Literally, I do this as we record every week. It looks like
Notes.
chicken scratch to everyone else, but I'm I know what this means. Because I do. One of the benefits of going to those events, to those conferences, is networking, is getting the referrals. And I don't want to miss out on that this year. I did last year because I was nervous as hell and didn't know what was going on. I've not done weekly videos. I did for a while. And again, I got so busy and life happened that I did not maintain that. I am buying a laptop in the next couple weeks, and I am getting the Final Cut Pro. It's been budgeted in. so that
It's a great program. It
well,
really
and like
is.
you said, like there's so many things we pay monthly for, that that $400 up top, and but I need to do a new laptop to make it worth it because mine will not support that right now.
Hmm.
I did boost videos and posts. I need to get back into that a bit. I need to build a structure out, like a calendar. And I did not keep up with any of my emails. Oy. Part of that was because I left the team just before third quarter. And so I was building out my lofty and fixing everything.
Yeah.
So I need to get back into that. As for my business setup, didn't do any of it. Did look a little into researching a team, but I just know I'm not ready. I need to find a better balance. I did stick with workouts. I quit CrossFit just because schedule wise it wasn't working. I did continue with yoga on Tuesdays and found it free at the Whitewater Center. Multiple times a week. So I stuck with that a lot at the third quarter. I did not only reorganize my office for the walking pad, I redid my entire office.
Hmm. It came
And
out
it's
very nice.
thank you. So I feel good about that. I've not used my walking pad as much as I should, but I've also not sat in a desk chair since reorganizing my office. I'm standing only these days. So that's
It makes
a
a
little bit.
difference.
It
It
does.
makes
It
a
makes a huge
difference.
difference.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
how about you?
Well, that's good. This this last quarter, I had 5 transactions on the books, and I closed 6, which is great. I still have listings that are sitting that we're still hustling to try to move. So like the pipeline is full. I picked up a lot of buyers actually, which is not. I've been very listing heavy, and a lot of my work with the school and things like that, like I'm getting referrals and shares on like Facebook. My most recent one, actually, my buyer onboarding call yesterday was an anonymous poster on the Hickory Moms page, and 8 or 10 moms all tagged me in it, which is some
Nice.
I've worked with, some I have not, but it was great. And they dug into my Facebook page and Google reviews, and she reached out directly and was like, hey, we'd love to work with you. So yesterday we had a buyer onboarding call. I used that, and it hasn't posted yet. I can't say high note presentation, but I used a high note presentation and sent
Nice.
that to them over the weekend. And then yesterday we had the full onboarding call. They got pre-approved. We have houses. Like it was bing, bam, boom. So I was excited for the 6, because the third quarter, looking back, traditionally is my slowest quarter. Usually the fourth quarter
Really?
is my good quarter. Last year the fourth quarter was really slow. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I'm still doing the prospecting and things like that. I did get back into doing more FISBO this this past quarter. I have not gotten any of those listings so far. I'm working, it's a lot of follow up right now. A lot of follow up. And I'm not, we've talked about this before. I'm just not going to try to beat out a 2% or whatever
It's not
percent
worth it.
listing. I'm just not. So that's been the biggest thing for me. This the biggest
Nice.
objection. It hasn't been the market, it hasn't been, it's just been, can you beat this price? And I'm, nope, I don't even want to.
Nope.
I don't even want to.
Nope.
So that's been good. We did a lot of traveling this third quarter. I know that we talk about dates with the kids and things, but we did camping. We did go camping twice, which I love. The dogs love, the kids love. It's just, I enjoy it a lot. So there was that. We traveled back home for my sister's wedding. I spoke at a real estate conference, which was not on my 12-week year, but just things like that, that trying to pay more attention to filling my cup as well, because like we were talking about, it's like this time of year I just start to like slippery slide down into this hole.
Right.
So focusing more on that, and that's actually part of the 4. I don't know when you want to go over last quarter goals, but really just being involved with the school. I did sponsor the Startown Spectacular. That had been
Is
on
that what I
my.
saw you posting about this week about the PTA?
Yep. Yep. So we do a big fundraiser every year for the school, and of course, before I was on the PTO, we would just go, right, and enjoy. It was fun. In the last 2 years, I've actually helped plan and organize it. And this year, we actually did local sponsors, like open up
Oh,
the
nice.
sponsorship to like instead of the PTO paying for all of the games, the bouncy houses, which are like very expensive. Um, Opened up those different level options to local businesses to sponsor a game, an inflatable, those kinds of things. So I did that this year and it was great. The signs are still out. They'll be out for a week in the car rider line too. So, I mean, that's wonderful. A lot of people came up, a lot of people that I've been there enough that they recognize who I am. They recognize my face. They're asking me about the market, those kinds of things, which is great. So, I'm really trying to focus in on that area because that is my immediate sphere.
Mhm.
I don't live in a small community like a neighborhood or anything like that. So my neighborhood really is my school
Yes.
right now. So,
Yep.
but did all
Um,
of that. The other thing was my newsletter. I've added about 200. I think it's just under. Last I checked, it was like 182 people to my newsletter, which is great. And it's right about a 30, between a 25 and 30% open rate right now, which I'm not mad at.
nice. Very nice.
I don't
That's
know. And I
awesome.
have stayed consistent with that every week. So I do my newsletter that goes out once a month, and then in between there, it's just like little tidbits of information, whether it's real estate related, whether it's local events, those kinds of things. And one thing, and I didn't have it on there for the third quarter, but that I started doing at the tail end was creating those information graphics, like local things that are happening, and popping my little logo on there because people screenshot them and reshare them, which is
Yes.
which is great. So, just something else again, just to stay out there.
Nice. I like it.
Hmm.
My goal for fourth quarter, I had big lofty goals, like looking at all the things I wanted to use to get.
Hmm.
I need to streamline that. I think that's part of my problem is I keep throwing too many. I need to
Gotta read
kind
the one thing, man.
I know I have that book.
It is really
I
such
need
a
to
good
finish
book.
it.
Such
Okay.
a squirrel. I'm like, oh, this would work. Oh, this would be fun. Oh, I would love to
Well,
do
and
this.
that's the thing.
Mhm.
Maybe that'll be
We're
the
our
next
own
book we
worst
review to
enemies.
force me to finish it. That's our next book review. Q1.
We're doing
We're
the
gonna
one
review
thing.
that book so that I finish reading it. Because I have it here somewhere.
At book
It's
retreat,
right
at
here.
beach retreat, they recommended buy back your time, and I just got that, and it is. I'm
Yes.
only 2 chapters in right now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it
But
is as
yeah,
good as they said.
like I think I've just like don't get me wrong, my business was great, but I
Hmm.
think part of the reason I haven't stuck to the plan is because I picked too many things.
Hmm. You've
I was
got your
trying to
fingers
be
in too many different pies.
right. Like I know video works really well for me. I need to get back into that.
Hmm.
Um, I would love to do some of like the email stuff you do with the posts and the giveaways to get people into my email list.
Yep.
Um, I was actually taking notes as you spoke about what I want to do. I'm already working on SEO for my website. I bought a challenge to go through that from Chris Harden. Um, so my goal is to boost that. Um, so I have an idea. Like but
It's good.
I tried to go too big last quarter, too many
Hmm.
things, and I just need to narrow it down.
Hmm.
So I would say my goal, I have 5 closings on the books right now for quarter 4. I would like to add at least 2 more. Um, and that's normally quarter 4 is my busy quarter. So if I can get 2 more, I'll be happy, but I'd like to see more than 2 more. Um, I've, you know, looked at this and like, um, definitely gonna stick with videos. I don't know that Fizbos are my thing. I don't maybe, but
They're not a
not
lot of people's thing. Like a lot of people hate Fizbos, and
right?
so many people lean toward expireds, and I'm just like, ugh,
Yeah,
they've
I don't
already had
know.
a bad experience, you know?
Right. I need to look into what I really want to do. I definitely want to get back into a weekly email, even if it's just the deal of the week. Just
Hmm.
one email a week. I want to look into using the tools like High Note and Flowdesk to make that easier.
Yep.
Um, so I think that's what I'm going to focus on right now. I'm going to say video. I'm going to focus on the SEO and the weekly emails.
Hmm.
Um, to get to build my business. Fourth quarter.
I
See
think
how
the
that
biggest
goes.
thing for those, like for me, and this is I think we talked about this when the kids were coming out of school for the summer, like day blocking or like because I also like if I jump from thing to thing to thing to thing too much, like it takes me forever to like refocus on what I was going to do. So
Yes.
I mean, we somewhat already do it. Monday is really a really heavy like admin day for me.
Not now
Less
that you have
because
a
I have a
TC.
transaction coordinator, but up until that point, it's still and that's when I set up like emails for the month, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then Tuesdays is podcast and content creation. And then Wednesdays, I try to have either closings or appointments Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then Friday, I kind of try to keep as like a flex day. Whatever I need to throw into Friday goes into Friday. But that way, I'm not like, okay, on Monday, I'm going to do a podcast and I'm going to work on my email list and I'm going to do it, just breaks it up into more. I mean, obviously, I'm doing different things, but they're more like grouped together, I guess. And that just works better for me. So when I know that I'm setting up my emails for the week or for the month, and I've the last 2 months, I've set them up. The first week, I've set all my emails up to automatically send out through Flowdesk for the following month.
I love
So
it.
I'm not doing it every week. Um, but yeah, just having like those big items on your calendar versus like 20-minute chunks here and there. If you spend an hour doing something and getting it done, then it's done for however long.
Right. Yeah,
That
I
just
like
works
that.
better for me.
I like that. So I'm gonna go look at Flowdesk and High Note Closer today. Do you have your goals for fourth quarter?
I'm doing another 5 transactions would be great. I have one that just went under contract, one that was under contract and just came back on the market, and the 30 to 60 day pipeline is pretty good. I would like to see it. Problem for it right now is the election, all of the hurricanes. Like people are just like the last
Right.
couple of weeks specifically have been really slow. And right now, like we know that what we're doing today really affects us 90 days from now. So honestly, like most if we were going to have closings this next quarter, most of them should be like in the works at this
Yes.
moment.
Yep.
Which yours are, but mine I only had 2 going and one fell out. So going for 5 though, and that'll push me over my transactions more than I did last year, and I've already beat my sales volume this year. So
Same.
we'll see.
Same. So like my goal last year was 12 and I think I cleared that the end of September.
Awesome.
So everything else is bonus right now.
Love
And
that.
my closing on the 18th will cap me. Yeah,
Yay.
I'm excited because then I don't reset till June.
Oh yeah, so you got a
So
minute.
yeah, I got a minute. I
You
got a
got a
minute.
minute at that
Um,
100%. That's
yeah. So
nice.
for those of you who don't have a cap at your firm or have my old firm tried to recruit me back last week. She's like, you'll never get to 100%, but it's 98.
It's real close, but not
But
really.
we'll give you 20 grand to walk back in the door. No, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm
but don't you
good.
have to pay that back?
Yeah, if you leave within 7 years, you have to give, no,
Yeah, that's
thanks.
crazy.
That
That's
I'll make,
crazy.
no, I'll make 20 grand in rev share next year. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm
No,
good.
thank you.
Thanks. Um, but anyway, so when you cap, when you're in real estate, you have a split with your brokerage.
Hmm.
At Real, it's 85/15 with a $12,000 cap, which means once you've paid Real $12,000 from that 15%, that totals $12,000, you go to 100% split minus like a transaction fee. Um which is nice. It's a game changer. It seems silly, but sometimes that 15% makes a big difference. So that date is not January to December. That date is your start date
Hmm.
through whenever. So my official, like I reset every year June 1st. So that means this year I have between June and it'll be next week. Please let this house close next week. So as we started this, I got a text from the lender. This house got added to the list of needs reinspections for the VA because of the hurricane.
Ugh, ugh. Dealing with that a lot.
Yeah, so that will be my capping and from there on out for all the rest of my closings until May 30th or 31st next year, everything will be 100%. So,
That's awesome. I
yeah,
talked
I'm
to a
excited.
few agents at Beach Retreat, and a few. I didn't realize that some brokerages have like tiers. Like you pay this percentage until you hit like however many million in volume, and then you get bumped up to a new tier.
Yep.
But the minute you don't have that volume, you go back to the beginning. And I was like, wow, that's,
That
man, I worked
sucks.
too hard for my money to
Yeah,
give that
right?
all away.
Right, because what if you have a sick family member? What
Hmm.
if a freaking hurricane comes through? So I'm being punished for things outside of my control?
Yep.
Nah, no, bro.
Yep.
I'm good where I'm
And I
at.
gotta tell you that my it's not rev share, the stock awards are starting to vest now.
Mhm. Same.
Love when that happens. Love when that
Yes.
happens. So
Mine have been vesting for a couple months now. Yeah, so
that's
that's a
great.
nice little I just let it sit and let it
Mhm.
ride.
Well, yeah, for me, it's a forced savings account,
Yeah,
because if that
it's a
extra money that
retirement.
we invest because we want to, like, otherwise, if it was in my bank account, it would be blown on probably TJ Maxx. Who knows?
I love
Definitely TJ Maxx.
I love when I go to TJ Maxx, they're like, "Would you like to open a credit card?" I'm like, "No.
No, thank you.
No, I
That's
don't."
such a bad decision for my life, but I appreciate the ask.
Right. All right.
Oh,
Well,
well, that's
those
it.
are our
I
goals.
think we and the biggest thing with goals and the biggest thing with, like, this is just accountability. It's not like, oh crap, like
Right.
I only had 4 out of the 5 closings. Like,
Right.
I suck. This is like, hey, this didn't work. I really didn't follow through on this like I said I would. I'm gonna change some things around and maybe not completely do a 180 and try something different next quarter, but maybe do little tweaks. Like you said, like take one off the list.
Right. Like I've got too much on there. Like, no, the more
That's
I
what I
look at this.
did going into quarter 3. Remember, or maybe it was quarter 2 when I first was like, I'm going to do YouTube. And then I was like, actually,
Right.
not going to do YouTube right
Right.
now. So
Like,
it's just one of those things. You have to be aware of what's working, what's not, and just do your best from there.
yes, my fourth quarter is going to be rededicating to the things I know I'm good at, the things that I know work for me,
Hmm.
and making myself better. And then I think Q1 next year, I will add one new thing in. Like, okay, now that I've got this, I'm back in the swing here. This is working the way I want. Okay, now I can add in the thing that maybe I feel like I'm missing, or I just want to try, a different way to bring in business. But right now, especially with holidays coming,
Hmm.
I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel and do all the things I thought I wanted to do third quarter, because it's too much to try to add all that new. And I should have known better. But that's okay. I still hit my goal. Like, my business is still booming.
Growing.
So I'm fine. Yeah,
And that's
I'm
all we
good.
need.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's it. So we will see you guys next week. We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.